Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be dissecting two fighter jets and seeing which is more capable. So the discussion would be around India's Rafale and Pakistan's F-16 fighter jet. We will see what is the difference and which fighter jet actually comes on top. So let's get started with this lecture. So what's the news all about? Why are these jets in news? That is because, see, of course, India has carried out Operation Sindoor, and in that operation, India used the Rafale jets that it has. So India currently, as we speak, has around 36 Rafale jets with it. And whereas Pakistan, if you talk about, it has a major fleet of the F-16s that we will have a look at. Now, Pakistan has around 75 F-16s. So the number here is more, but probably still the 36 Rafale jets may come on top, because it is estimated that probably to take care of one Rafale jet, you might actually need two F-16 fighter jets. So anyway, we'll see why that has been said by many experts and the actual difference that is. One more thing is, though Pakistan has 75 F-16, the issue of maintenance persists with Pakistan because the economy is not doing well. They don't even have money to maintain the fighter jets that they have. At the same time, India has given new orders for different let's say military equipment. It includes a lot of defense equipment as well. Defense as in not the attack version, but the defense. So we'll see, we will be further improving our capabilities. But let's now focus only on these two jets. So what has happened is in India's Operation Sindoor, we have used Rafale jet. So now the question comes, so if Pakistan retaliates or strikes back, which it has actually, immediately after it strike the civilians of India, which is quite uncalled for, because in Operation Sindoor, it is the terrorist camps that were taken away, but Pakistan has responded with attacks on civilian properties. So that was quite unethical on the side of Pakistan. So let's see now the difference, because these are the two major fleets that India and Pakistan respectively has, that is Rafale jets and F-16. So if you talk about India's Rafale jets, they are French made. So France's Dassault Aviation makes this jet. Whereas if you talk about the F-16, also known as the Fighting Falcons, in a lot of movies there is reference to F-16s. In a very recent movie as well, I believe there was reference to Pakistan's F-16, also known as the Fighting Falcons. They are developed by USA's General Dynamics. This is a public sector enterprise. It has hired another private sector enterprise and subsequently developed it, but majorly remember that it is developed by the USA. So it's basically French versus USA here. That is what we are talking about. Now, if you look at the basic differences, the Rafale jets are 4.5 generation, 4.5 generation. So there are different generations of jets, generation 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 4.5 is the intermediate between the fourth and the fifth one. If you talk about the sixth one, many claim that sixth is also now existing. It is not. It is a conceptualized fact that the sixth generation is the one which is now being conceptualized. So as we speak, in operation, we have the fourth and the fifth generation presently, and Rafale jet is a 4.5 generation machine, whereas if you talk about F-16, it is a fourth generation machine. So you can directly see there is a half a generation gap. So there is a generation gap, as we say, there will be a generation gap between father and son. So here we can see that there is a generation gap over here which exists between Rafale and the F-16 as well. Now, these are the different generations of the fighter jets. So as the generation becomes better, the speed becomes better. So if you look at, in general, the first generation jets that we had, they were subsonic. What is sonic? Sonic basically relates to the speed of sound in the air, which is around 340 meters per second. So a jet is said to be sonic if it can move with the speed of sound in the air. So the first generation jets were subsonic, means moving with a speed lesser than the speed of sound, subsequent to which we had the sonic and even the supersonic jets which move with a speed faster than that of a sound in the air. Now why I'm saying in the air? Because the speed of sound in the air and in water is different. Remember, for your prelims exam there can be a general science question, so your speed of sound increases with the increase in the density of the medium. So since air is a rarer medium than water, so speed of sound in air would be less than that in water, and the speed of sound would be even faster in a dense metal or a solid medium. Having said that, let's move ahead with respect to other basics. So if you talk about Rafale, Rafale is powered by twin engine, whereas F-16 is powered by a single engine. Now this plays a very crucial role. Why? Because since Rafale is powered by two engines, in case of an engine failure of one, the other still works. So that is a very important point. Whereas since F-16 is single engine craft, the failure of one engine actually fails the entire machine. So if you have to identify which one is Rafale, which one is F-16, you can clearly see there is just one engine over here, whereas there are two different engines over here. So this increases its durability by in fact 100%. Right, moving ahead, the electronic and weapons we will see now. One more thing, as the generations have kept on increasing, there has been an increase in the stealth capability of the air jets. So what is the stealth capability? So if you look at the stealth capability in F-16, it is completely absent, whereas if you talk about Rafale, there is a partial stealth ability which is present. So what is stealth? Stealth ability gives you the ability to be invisible to the radars that are there to catch you. So Rafale is not completely invisible, but partial stealth capability it has. That means it will be quite difficult for the radar to actually locate this aircraft, whereas F-16 does not have any stealth capability, as a result of which it will be very easy to identify, locate and target and destroy F-16 as compared to Rafale, because it has partial stealth capability. That means reduced radar and heat signature. It has reduced radar signature, reduced heat signature, as a result of which making it difficult to identify and target. Now how does the system work? If you look at the conventional plane, here is the waves that goes and the waves come back, so you can identify that there is some machine over here, right? This is how you identify the presence of something. Now when a jet is having stealth capability, there are two important things that the jet will consist. One, a particular coating, and second, the kind of design, the structure it has. Both of them will help to ensure that the rays that are being thrown at the aircraft do not come back directly back to the radar, and instead it gets deviated in different places. So what will happen? The waves will go and will be deflected elsewhere, so the radar will think that there is no object in front, as the waves are not coming back. So this is how the stealth technology is manufactured or established or developed in the aircraft. Moving ahead, if you talk about the radar technology, because see, radar is to identify, right? So the jets, the Rafale has a partial stealth technology, so it is difficult for it to identify. But the jet itself will have radar to identify the other aircraft and other enemy equipment. So if you talk about the radar technology of these jets, F-16 basically has the mechanically scanned radar. So you have to manually maneuver to identify. You will have to move the joystick kind of a thing in order to move the radar and mechanically scan it. That is what was present in the older version. However, newer version does have the electronically scanned array, right? Whereas if you talk about Rafale, all the Rafales are equipped with AESA radar, that is active electronically scanned array radars, which automatically identifies or throws the waves and identifies whether there is a enemy equipment or enemy aircraft or not. So here also Rafale takes the lead. So the million-dollar question is, which is better? So it's a clear-cut win for Rafale, and we can say that Rafale is undoubtedly the superior fighter or the superior aircraft. However, there has been one initial thing which Rafale faced difficulty in. The F-16s, Now the F-16s had the advanced medium range air-to-air missile. It initially worried India or India's Rafale because it was good. It was the medium range air-to-air missile. It was good. But then we had our Rafale equipped with the BVR. Now what is BVR? BVR is beyond visual range. So Rafale now has beyond visual range missile. Means what? You may not be able to see it, but your jet is going to see it and still attack. So it again overpowers F-16 here as well. The second thing, the Rafale's Meteor has the biggest no escape zone. Now what is this zone? This no escape zone is a zone wherein once you target the zone and hit the missile, if the enemy aircraft is anywhere in between that zone, it will be taken down. And that zone for Rafale is about 120 kilometers, whereas the same zone for F-16 is only 100 kilometers. So giving an advantage of over 20% over here to Rafale. Right. So continuing with it, the one thing that F-16 might have a slight advantage is in dogfights. Now what is a dogfight? A dogfight is a fight between the jets wherein these jets are moving very close to each other and maneuvering very closely, very sharply, very close to each other. In that case, exceptional case scenario, F-16 might have a slight edge because it is a lighter aircraft. It is a lighter aircraft, so maneuverability would slightly be better, and it has a high thrust to weight ratio, means it gets more thrust per unit weight of the aircraft, as well as it is small. So only in a specific case of dogfight it might have certain additional certain advantage, right? Because in a dogfight the radar and all is not needed. You know the enemy is there, you are easily able to identify, and it is about the lightweight and faster maneuverability. Only that is where it might have a slight advantage. However, if you talk about Rafale, its electronics, its stealth technology gives it a superior edge. Its advanced radar system helps Rafale to identify the targets faster in a better way and destroy them. So Rafale here is a clear-cut winner. Thank you.